Okay, so may I ask everyone to mute, please, in the meantime, or I might actually be able to mute people. Who's the host? You're finding it hard to hear? Okay, just a minute. Let me see.
Stacy, can you unmute yourself? Because now I muted everyone else.
Yes, I can unmute myself, fine. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let me get this going here. Let me share my screen.
What? Yeah, I at least.
Okay, so you can all let me know if you can see my screen. I'm gonna see how I can put this in presenter mode. Okay. Okay, can everyone see my screen? You can give a thumbs up. Okay. Great. Okay, great. So welcome to the first Ambassador Meetup with me, Stacy, as your new Ambassador Coordinator. I'm really excited to get to know you all, and I hope that you all participate. I'd like these sessions to be as interactive as possible. The chat tends to be a bit easier sometimes to use or to monitor. So I would encourage you to use the chat, at least to start with, okay? So this is our agenda for the meeting. We're gonna have a quiz, one of our quizzes. I confess it's not going to be as long as some of the other quizzes, and I put in a couple of easy questions on purpose, but let's just get a little icebreaker going with our quiz, and then I'll do a little introduction of myself as your new Ambassador Coordinator. I would also like to hear some updates on how you have been doing with organizing the virtual hubs, okay, or organizing, sorry, your local events, I beg your pardon. Let me know how that's going. Some of you had expressed an interest, so this is the forum where we're gonna start to chat a bit more about that. If you still are interested in organizing a local event, in our last meetup, I'd let you know that it can be something small, it can be something bigger, but you know, I'm here to guide you, because it would be really great for us to have some exposure for island innovation. And also it would be fantastic, what's even more important, is for us to collaborate effectively and raise some awareness around the issues that you may be facing and find some solutions. And then finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you all can benefit. How can you and your community benefit from the Virtual Island Summit and also benefit indirectly from organizing the local event, okay? So we are going to kick things off with our Island Innovation Quiz. Okay, and I'm really excited to see how many people are going to get the answers to these. All right, so our first question was, you're going to see on the next few slides, you'll find images about the islands of the world. So you can answer the questions or select the choice where appropriate. And our first question is, to which archipelago of islands does this flag belong? Okay, so this is the flag here. I give you all a nice hint of the capital. I'm going to go into the chat and see if anybody, ooh, I think people already know. I see a couple of right answers already. So this was obviously a very easy quiz. This was an easy quiz. This was too easy. Absolutely correct. The answer is the Maldives. Okay, and we're reminded one of the reasons we love our islands in this part of the world, the incredible crystal clear water there in the Maldives. So thank you, Lissy, you got that immediately. Bonnie got that right, and Vittorio, and Catherine, and Marjorie. Thanks so much. All right, so let's get the next question going here. The next question is, the island territory of the Bahamas can correctly be described in what way from a geographical point of view? Is it an isthmus? Is it a peninsula? A continent? Is it an archipelago? And you know, obviously we have one of those answers that's definitely incorrect. But which one is correct? That's what we're focusing on. So which is the island territory? How would you describe this particular? Oh, I see answers coming fast and furious. Archipelago, D. I think everybody is getting that right. Oh, I see Mr. Christopher Chinapu there. Hi, Chris, how are you? I see lots of ambassadors. I know Marjorie, a special shout out to everybody. But it's great to see you participating. Yep, and that is correct. The answer is indeed D. It is an archipelago. Okay, awesome. So our next one. On what island would you find the country of Brunei? And then the hint I'm going to give you, it's in Southeast Asia. Any ideas about where this country, what's the island called that you would find this country of Brunei? I remember doing some research and reading the Sultan of Brunei was once considered the richest person in the world. Let's see. Yep, I see one person. Oh, Bonnie, your cousin lived there. Was this in Bahamas, Bonnie, or was this in Brunei? Yeah, we have some correct answers coming through. Fantastic. Yes, this is in this small island of Borneo. It is indeed Borneo. Okay, lots of beautiful sunny waters that we're seeing here in islands. Okay, so that's the answer for that one. And the next question, which I believe may have been the last one I had. No, it's not the last. Which is the highest mountain on any island on Earth? So I'm not asking you about the mountain. I'm not asking about the island, I beg your pardon. I'm asking you about the mountain. What is the name of the highest mountain on any island on Earth? Okay, let me see, not seeing any questions. People might be Googling this furiously. Yeah, it's tricky. I had to put one in there. That was kind of difficult. Someone's saying Hawaii, someone's saying, well, someone's telling me the island, they're not saying the name of the mountain. Yeah, this one is a bit trickier. Marjorie, I see your eyes there looking, wondering what the answer is. Someone has Kilimanjaro, but Kilimanjaro is the African continent. Someone says Mauna Loa. Okay. Any other guesses? I'll give a couple more seconds before I move to the answer. The highest mountain on any island on Earth is, drum roll please. The answer is Jaya Peak in Indonesia. That's the highest mountain on any island on Earth. It's Indonesia. This one I did not know myself either, I must confess. Okay, so we realize that yes, island territories can have a wide range of geographies, beaches and mountains, they run the entire gamut. Okay, this one I believe is the last one. Oh, yes, and this one is very easy. We ended with on a relatively easy. What is Easter Island famous for? And this is such an easy hint. They're very tall. This is a bit of a corny hint, but they're very tall. What's Easter Island famous for? I remember being fascinated by this. Statues, very good. Statues. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, Data. Yes, and Bonnie. Well, it's kind of a version of Stonehenge, I guess, Marjorie. The Easter Island heads, which also some of them have been excavated and we found bodies to them. Thanks very much. These are the famous Easter Island statues. That's one of the places in the world I always wanted to visit growing up. I thought there was an incredible amount of mystery surrounding these statues, and I always wondered why they were built in the first place. So that's something I might do some research on. So thanks so much for participating as usual. I'm glad to see you all are good sports and that you all participate so well. So this is just a way for us to kind of relax and settle into the presentation. And actually, this is not meant to be a presentation. As I said, I want this to be as interactive as possible. So our next item on the agenda after the quiz is just to introduce you to me as your new ambassador coordinator. Just want to give you a bit of background as who I am and my interests and some of the work I do with Island Innovation. So as you well know, my name is Stacey Alvarez de la Campa. I joined Island Innovation as an ambassador, actually, it seems a long time ago now, and then started to work part-time. I got very interested, and pursuing my interest through Island Innovation was extremely fulfilling. And I decided I really wanted to commit my time to, the cause of island sustainability, to raising awareness about climate change and doing what I could for my community and my family. I was born on a very small island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I was born in actual St. Vincent as opposed to some of the Grenadines. Some of the Grenadine Islands are Union Island, Carriacou, and Mairo. I was born in St. Vincent, moved to Barbados when I was a little girl, very young. And when I finished high school, I kind of wanted to escape the island atmosphere and learn about different cultures. So I went to Denmark as an exchange student. And I still say to this day, that was one of the best things I ever did. If we all can possibly get to know another language and another culture, I think that's a really enriching thing to do. It changed my life in that I gained a much deeper appreciation of nature. In as much as I love nature when I was home, we only have, 2 seasons, wet and dry season. And it was really incredible to see nature change through all of the seasons and really experience an awareness of what it's like to live close to nature. Recycling became a way of life. I was much more aware of the importance of embracing circularity as opposed to a linear way of living. And, you know, I noticed that people in the community shared things, you know, there was a greater emphasis on recycling and making sure that what you use, there was always a central area for plastics and glass, you could recycle things. And then I experienced a very different educational system, which I think was something that was very important to me. It really helped me to open my eyes and learn a lot more. Okay, so in terms of my background, some of my hobbies, my background is in law, literature, and education. So I did study Nordic studies while I was in Denmark. I came back to Barbados and I did my degrees in literatures and English as well as law. And my degree in law got me very interested in the concept of climate justice and becoming more of an advocate. And the concept of climate justice and sustainability are slow to coalesce here in the region. So I'd like to raise some more awareness about that. I participated in panel discussions to do with these same things, climate justice, sustainability, worked with some UN rapporteurs to raise awareness about the way the climate crisis is affecting not just islands in the Caribbean, but islands in the world. And my hobby is reading, surfing, equestrian sports. I love writing, traveling. Now that COVID is well, we're learning to live with COVID. I look forward to traveling more, hiking and some weight training. And I do love to cook as well. So that was a little bit about me. And I want to tell you some of my goals for the ambassador program. And after I tell you some of these, I'd like to hear from you or check in the chat and see what you have to say. But I want to help you to identify some of the challenges that you're facing on your islands, because some of these challenges are more obvious than others. And I think the most important way to deal with any issue is to identify and know what it is and know what you're actually dealing with. So after we've identified some of these challenges, I want to see how can we optimize our channels of communication? How can we communicate and collaborate with each other? Because as islands, I know in different parts of the world and in the Caribbean, because of the geographical separation, we tend to forget that we're a region with a shared history. And even if we don't have that shared history, as islands, we share a lot of common issues and a lot of common benefits. So I want us to tap into that and see how we can communicate and help you to raise awareness about the challenges facing your communities. So in your communities, what kind of challenges are there? So you identify the challenges, but you might also want to raise awareness to the wider world. Sometimes that's a good way to start to garner some support and move forward in your path of helping your community. Okay, I also want to show you how you can highlight the work that Island Innovation is doing, and that will be reciprocal. We would love to highlight some of your work. And I want you to encourage your network to join our community as well. Okay, so you're a part of our community. Who else in your network, friends, family would be interested in Island Innovation? It's really relevant, all of the work that we're doing. And there's a sense of resonance, particularly when you become more and more a part of it. And I'd like to help you fulfill your potential as a leader and a change maker. Let's see some ways that we can collaborate. Let's see some ways that you can bring out the leader in you and also help to create change. Because sometimes you don't have enough confidence in your ideas, and you should know that we're all kind of making our way forward, and in some ways we're making it up as we go along. No one's perfect, and I want us to get together and see how can we collectively help each other. So what are some of your goals? I want to give you all a couple of minutes to think about that. What are some of your goals for your community? And even being in the Island Ambassador Program. If you haven't thought about it before now, if you haven't thought about it before you joined, now is the time to think about it so I can get some ideas or hear from you. What are some of your goals? And in this instance, Thais, if you see anything come through in the chat, you can let me know. I'll give people a couple of minutes. I myself am a very slow typer, so I'll see if we'll need some more time. Nothing coming through in the chat yet?
Can I start then?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, there are some comments.
Great.
Okay, so people are saying, in my community, economic equity and mobility in the ambassador are the main challenges, I believe, right? And they are participating in the ambassador program and getting to know others and expanding the network.
Great. That's great. So we have the ideas of equity and inclusivity, which I think is really important. We see that in some smaller islands, definitely in the Caribbean and elsewhere, where there can be some very defined silos of people working and not working together, and people are not included. And there are some people in more marginalized communities who can be overlooked. So the idea of equity, the idea that we all need to benefit in the same way, that might mean some people need more help than others, but the goal is that we can all help each other, whether it's Indigenous communities, whether it's women, children, people who are disabled in various ways. I think it's very important for us to consider the idea of inclusivity. And if that is one of your goals, I think that's great. This is something that you can feel free to share with us as a network and see how we can look towards increasing a sense of equality and equity. Any other ones, Thais? I think there were economic challenges were mentioned as well. And
yeah, many others.
Yeah.
Can you see the chat? Do you want me to read, or can you see the chat?
I can actually check the chat now. I can see the chat.
Okay,
so,
great.
Okay, great. Okay. Ooh, I'm seeing some excellent ones. Thank you. People are talking about conservation. People are talking about getting to know, expanding their networks, the balance of economic and social environmental use of resources. So that on islands, so that links to equity. Contribute to the transformation of food systems in St. Lucia and the Caribbean. And that's an excellent one. I think food systems and agriculture, that's something we tend to overlook. In small islands, I know where I am based in Barbados, so much of our food is imported, approximately 90% of our food is imported. So when there were issues with the supply chain, particularly with the conflict in the Ukraine, we saw a lack of choices in terms of what we could buy, and prices also went up. Prices skyrocketed everywhere. So this is something we have to think about, increasing food security. Great, I see Kieran in Orkney, their island, the goal is to highlight and educate people about climate change, to educate people about recycling, reuse, and reducing waste, which is excellent. And Kieran, you started a blog. That's fantastic. We'll see if we can share that. Okay. Okay, developing health education and health diplomacy in the Caribbean. That's also crucial. And Marjorie says, leading efforts to increase capacity with regard to resilience, quality education, connectivity, psychosocial health and wellness. Fantastic. Contribute to the development of the blue economy, improve justice and preventive outcomes. People are working for various NGOs, societal transformation. That's fantastic. Island growers is having a hydroponic farm. Oh, great. So there are lots of things and issues with the certification. So all of these, I actually am going to save this chat. And when I do a roundup or do a bit of a summary after the meeting, we'll share some of these. So thanks so much for sharing these goals. We can see that we have a wide range of issues that we're going to look at and focus on, which I think is important. Okay, so let's get some updates. I'd like to see if we have some updates about anyone who is interested in organizing a local event. This will be another chance for you to share what you need to share in the chat. While you're considering that, let's just do a bit of a recap. Okay, in terms of what we had focused on. So in our previous sessions, we had focused on things like identifying the venue. Okay, identifying where you're going to have your local event. Okay, I think something that's even more important before that is think about what is the issue that you're going to be focusing on. Now, some of you through the chat, I can see that you have a lot of issues on your mind and you have a lot of things that you want to tackle and look at. So those are some of the issues right there. And you'll see that even if you haven't managed to type in the chat, you might look and you might see that, wow, it might spark a sense of resonance in you, and you'll see, wow, that's an issue that's very important where you are as well. Okay, so you identify the issue and identify the venue where you're going to host the event. We had discussed inviting an audience. We had talked about promoting the event and choosing your format. You know, some people may have had a kind of a hybrid event where they were going to see how they could stream one of the sessions of the Virtual Island Summit, for example. Producing shareable content. Okay, so shareable content, how can you raise awareness? How can you share all this? We're going to talk about this in more detail a little bit later in the presentation. Okay, so, and again, what are some of the challenges that you're facing with regards to having a local event? Are you having trouble finding a venue? Are you having trouble deciding, you know, how exactly you're going to format your local event? Are you having trouble deciding wondering how you're going to promote it and producing the content? Just give me an idea of those challenges. I can see the chat. I'm going to see if anyone. Okay, so Yes, the venue can be small and simple. Thank you for adding that. It can be a backyard. I know my son, who's also an ambassador. I'm sure it's definitely going to be in my backyard. So him and his friends, they have identified an issue to do with food security and prices, and they're going to be checking which of the sessions in the Virtual Island Summit they're interested in checking and sharing. Okay, so are there any challenges that you're currently?
I would like to add, Stacey, that the idea here is not to create a very big event or something very complicated. The goal is to be able to share some of the ideas that we are having contact with during the Virtual Island Summit. So, for example, if you don't really have a lot of time to invest, or if you don't have experience organizing an event, you can just invite people from your community to a restaurant or to your backyard, for example. Or if you know someone who has a space, it can be a hotel, restaurant, any space, you can just invite people, put your TV there, connect to your computer, and give people access to the content that we will be sharing during the Virtual Island Summit. So you don't need to worry about formal invitations or decoration for your space. You don't need to worry about having lots of technical devices. It can be really simple. The goal is to invite people from your community to get access to information, to all the knowledge that we will be sharing during the Virtual Island Summit, right?
Exactly. Thanks so much for pointing that out. And this leads right into brainstorming some solutions. That was excellent, Thais, because some people I know, some of us can be a bit intimidated and we think, oh my goodness, I have to host an event. What am I going to do? But it really is that simple. You know, my son and a couple of his friends, that's his community. Even if your community is not your literal physical community, as in, next door neighbors, there might be someone, even if it's one other person. It's always better to share and it's always better to collaborate, and you gain a new perspective that way. So that's something very simple. If one of your solutions was finding a venue, know that it can be even a coffee shop. I know some people who they're going to find a relatively quiet corner of a coffee shop and they're going to set up their laptop, and people are going to be together. 2 or 3 friends are going to be together around the laptop at that coffee shop where they have access to Wi-Fi. And then afterwards, they're going to decide which of the sessions they're going to focus on for the Virtual Island Summit. We have various streams. It can be to do with blockchain and cryptocurrency. It can be food security, climate justice. That's one solution to the idea of, or to the challenge of not knowing where your venue is. I'm just checking some issues, some of the chat to see if anyone else had any. Okay, so someone was mentioning how they're going to, how to invite people to sign up. Okay, so in terms of inviting people to sign up, a very easy way is to share the link to the Virtual Island Summit, which you will find, that's as easy as Googling. That's very easy to find and to figure out, okay? You can just, if you Google Virtual Island Summit 2022, the homepage will come up and you can get to the registration page. Again, registration is free. And we have such a range of participants and a range of people who are going to be there that I'm very, very confident that anyone in the agribusiness sector would be interested in what we have to say. And this is a way that you can make your voice heard as well. So you can simply, if you posted that link on your social media, I will say a few words later about a promotion package that we have to do with the Virtual Island Summit, where we've created some resources for you that it's easy to share. And that way it's very, very easy to invite people as well, okay? Right,
yeah,
so
and also, Stacey, I think it's important to mention that we created a promotion guide for you, and then I can present the promotion guide for you in a few minutes if you want.
That's what I mentioned. I said there's a promotional package, I think I called it, and that's what we can use. And I don't have that to hand, but yes, thank you, Thais.
I'm pasting the link to the chat. So basically, we prepared many materials that you can use to promote your participation and also to help communicate the Virtual Island Summit. So if you access the link that I put on the chat right now, you will see that in this promotion guide, you can find all the official logos, the official banners, many different social media posts that you can just copy and paste and use on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever you want. We also prepared some models for emails if you want to invite people that you know to attend the Virtual Island Summit. So there are many resources prepared for you to support the promotion of the Virtual Island Summit. And of course, you can adapt everything we created for you to also promote your own local event. There is someone who raised their hand, Michelle.
Hi, good day, everyone.
Michelle.
Hi, I just wanted to make mention of a comment that I placed in the chat. I just wanted to know whether that was possible.
Can you let me know the comment? Because I can't see it at the moment. I guess I can access it.
Okay, sure. It was in relation to the landing page. Because I know that with Island Innovation, branding is important and keeping with consistency throughout, the various islands are important as well. So I was wondering, is there some scope for having a landing page created for like a template for ambassadors to use that can act as a lead generator for persons, to participate or register for our events, and that lead generator can also act as, a sort of resource for ourselves as well, for our, individual, organizations and activities that we are doing locally?
Sure, I can double check. I think something similar to that is in the promotional package, or it can easily be adapted to that purpose. But I've made a note of it, and I'll see if I can get back to Michelle. You can also send me an email, Michelle, with that request, just to remind me, stacy@islandinnovation.co, and just let me know. But I believe that all the materials that you would need for that purpose are in the promotional package, but please just reach out to me afterwards so we can double check and follow up on that. Okay, awesome. And that led right into this next slide to do with how can you communicate your event. So all of these things, social media, the idea of an email template that Thais mentioned, the format and the look of the promotional package is very professional, and you wouldn't expect anything less from us at Island Innovation, but it's perfectly suited to add to local media websites, to post in relevant social media groups and LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups, your own networks, and to anyone in the media. This is the perfect way to do that. So all of that is there in the link that Thais would have shared with you. Okay.
And even if you were not creating your own local event, of course, you can. We ask for your help to promote the Virtual Island Summit as ambassadors. So there are many materials in this promotion guide that you can also use to create your social media posts and let everyone know that you are attending the event, that you are committed to the sustainable development of islands. So we encourage everyone to use this promotion guide. It doesn't matter if you are creating your local event or not.
Yeah, you can just promote, and hopefully you will also participate. Again, there are different ways you can participate. You don't need to be creating a local event. So this is just giving you some insight into how you can set up the transmission. And it's even simpler than this. I know this says you can connect a computer to a TV or the projector. There's some smart TVs where you can just cast the transmission to the Zoom sessions as any attendee would, and it's as simple as that. Even something like that, I know my son, they're going to be 2 or 3 friends seated around the laptop and they're going to watch. So it really is that simple to create a local event that has that nice hybrid nature to it. Okay. So the shareable content we mentioned. So some of the templates can be used for this purpose. You can live tweet about the event or a keynote speaker. You can also go onto our website, and we're starting to put some information about the speakers, about the agenda and the content tracks. And you can get some shareable quotes. If there's a particular quote, something someone said that resonated with you, you can always share that quote, and you can say why it resonated with you, why you thought it was And take lots of photos, even as, again, I come back to using my son as an example. I'm sure they'll just take some pictures of themselves around the computer. They might take some screenshots and they might want to, you know, say what they found particularly interesting. So it's great if you have a venue where, you know, it seems more upscale, or it might be a great view or great scenery. But again, the point is that it doesn't have to be elaborate. It really can be simple, and it's a great way to get your message across and to amplify the message of the Virtual Island Summit. You can write a short blog sharing your thoughts and experiences about the event. What happened? Why did you think it was interesting? And, you know, we have, you can actually submit some blogs through us in Island Innovation. That information is also available on our website. So that can be a way for you to actively contribute an article. If any media is going to attend, you can encourage them to write an article. Usually a press release helps the media to get all the information they need to create an article. And engage social media using the hashtags we have. We have, you know, hashtag island events and hashtag VIS 2022. All of these are simple ways, and the combination of the hashtags with the information in our promotional package, I think will be very, very helpful. I see something else in the chat. Yep. Thank you so much, Thais. Thais has put where you can submit to our blog, where you can put submissions to our blog. We really appreciate those submissions. Okay, so writing a press release or an article. If you have contact with the media, you can write a press release or an article. I know this is something that someone had mentioned before, if there was any way we could produce kind of a template for a press release or an article. And let me know if you do need help with that. Press releases are quite simple. They have a distinct format, but we can add something like that to our ambassador resource page. Because a press release is great to circulate to local media because they have all the information they need, and they are more likely to attend the event or give the event some coverage if they know what it's about and if they know what's going on. Okay, so we have writing the press release. So I really think I want to encourage you again to consider, if you haven't already thought about having a local in-person event, please do. It can be something simple, easy. I know that I might be responsible for the snacks that will be served at my son's local event, but that's something, in-person event, but that's something else. But it's a nice way to get together. It's a nice way to have that sense of community again. If you are concerned about it, if you can find a space where you can have some appropriate physical distancing too, that's great. But just take a chance at it. We would love to hear from you. And we would love to hear from, I know there's so many ambassadors who, you know, sometimes I haven't heard from, or we don't know what's going on where you are. And this would be a great way. You can fill out the form to express your interest. That's also going to be on our ambassador resource page. And even if it's an issue that you don't think is important or seems insurmountable, it'd be really, once you share, you'd be surprised at how we can kind of find solutions together to this kind of thing. Okay, so I'll move on to begin to wrap up and think about how can you and your community, how you can benefit from the Virtual Island Summit, whether you are participating in or having a local event or not. How can you actually benefit? Why is it important to consider the option of taking part in the Virtual Island Summit? So first of all, you're going to connect with like-minded thought leaders. And I know those are words, some people just see those as buzzwords, and what do they actually mean? So first of all, when you connect and make those connections with people, there's strength in unity and there's power in numbers. So you'd be surprised how you may be feeling discouraged, or you might not realize the magnitude of a problem, or the fact that when put in perspective, the problem is solvable. Once you make that connection with people, that's going to come across. The idea of being like-minded, they're thinking along the same wavelength as you. And it can be very isolating sometimes when you think you're sitting alone with a problem. But luckily through technology, and most importantly through the network of ambassadors that we have to remember that we're out there together. We can connect, and then we can become thought leaders. We can think in a way that is innovative. We're not going to follow the status quo, because that, as we can see with the climate crisis and what's happening in the economy, that's not really something that's going to be useful to the future, and it's not something that's sustainable. So think in a way that's innovative. And when you have support, it's better to come to those kind of ways of thinking. Now, another great benefit, you can draw attention to any of the issues that your island community is facing. And that's really important, because from the outside looking in, a lot of island communities, no matter where they are in the world, tend to be a bit idealized. You think, oh, this is so wonderful, or you only hear about the good, or you only see the things that are pleasant. But when you're in the situation and you're more aware of what's happening on the ground, as it were, it's very important to draw kind of a wider sense of attention to those issues, because that's a way that they're going to be exposed and that's a way that they can be solved. Okay, I think that it also helps to break down the silos that we tend to operate in. People are, you know, they have their blinkers on and their head down trying to work on an issue, and you don't realize when you look up, you know, you can better assess a way that you can draw attention to your issues. And with the Virtual Island Summit, it's a great platform to collaborate. I mean, outside of the usual networking sessions, I know some people might be a bit shy to attend the networking sessions. And even that word alone, I know some people don't like to use or to say. But once you contribute, even in the chat, the way we've been looking at now, one of my tasks that I like to do during the Virtual Island Summit is check the chat, see who is reaching out, who is saying what, if anyone is trying to draw attention to an issue, and if anyone wants to pose a question to any members of the panel. Even if it's not answered like live during the session, I tend to try to see how can I communicate this question to the contacts that we have and to the person who appeared on the panel. So it's really important. You have a platform to collaborate in this way and even with each other. And it's interesting how I know that even in the last couple of Virtual Island Summits, I collaborated with people in Barbados who I'd never met. Barbados is quite a small island. We like to say we basically know everybody else. But it's amazing how many people through Island Innovation and through the Ambassador Program I got to know who cared a lot about the issues that I cared about. Okay, so that's important. Think about it, consider it as a kind of a platform that you can use to collaborate usefully and find solutions. Okay, so I'd like to hear from some of you, and I wouldn't mind hearing. You can unmute your mic or put your hand up, and then Thais can perhaps monitor and check who has their hand up, and one by one we can take turns. Why are you attending? I assume if you're here and if you're an ambassador, not putting you on the spot, you're going to actually attend the Virtual Island Summit. And by attend the Virtual Island Summit, it does not have to be all of the sessions over all of the days. You can choose one or two, and you can, you know, if it's of particular interest to you. So I'd love to hear why you are actually going to attend. If you're too shy to unmute your mic, I can have access to the chat and I will have a look there. But garner your courage, feel free if you have the connection to unmute your mic and let's hear. Let's practice making our voices actually heard to start some change. Where are you going to attend?
Everybody's shy today.
I know, everybody's so shy. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a moment.
Good morning.
Oh, good. I hear two people. I heard Marjorie, and who else was talking? Let's take turns.
And me, Bonnie. But
And
she
Bonnie,
can go
okay,
first.
great.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
Marjorie, will you go first, and then we'll have Bonnie. Hi, Marjorie, how are
Okay.
you?
Hi.
Where are you attending?
Oh my goodness. I'm attending for a variety of reasons. One,
Great.
I want to know what other people are doing in their areas to address similar issues. I mean, it may sound trite, but there's something about the ability to quote unquote touch people when they're live. So listening to recordings and stuff, that's nice, but there's something organic about a personal, opportunity to touch each other personally, because it then can spark other conversations, deepen the conversation, broaden the conversation. Where, there is an opportunity for creativity and innovation, no pun
Yep.
intended. And so there's something about that personal touch. Also, I want to hear what everybody else is saying, just to listen. And I also hope to add my voice and say, you know what, and here's what we're doing, but to network and to get to see the world through their lenses. Does that make sense? Because my experience in the Caribbean, even though we're all on islands, may be different. And those nuances, I think, add such great depth and value. For me, is pure curiosity learning and growth.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very eloquent. Thanks so much, Marjorie. I like when you said that, you can make your voice heard to listen. One of the key things sometimes is actually just to listen. As much as it is important to begin to tackle your issues and verbalize them, it's great to just listen. And as Marjorie said, the real-time experience of collaborating and speaking, rather than it being something that's recorded, is really something that I think as people, and the isolation of the past couple of years that's placed us in, that's really an important point. I'll check the chat after I hear from Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie, how are you? Why are you going to attend? Hey, good to hear you.
Yeah, I feel like all year we kind of work in our silos or in our groups and in our different either geographical locations or within our networks. And I think that the Virtual Island Summit is kind of like the island event of the year where everyone kind of comes together and shares their stories. And it's just really interesting to touch base once every year and see the progress that everyone has made since the last summit. And yeah, I always find that really interesting, and to just hear about everyone's progress and where they are.
Thank you. I love that you said that. I love you said it's the island event of the year. That's another quotable quote. and it's great that, as you say, we can see progress and we can see when we make the connections from year to year. What I think would be great as well is for us to sometimes connect in between these big flagship events that we have. How are the ways that we can just reach out in smaller kind of groups and circles sometimes, and just give that little encouragement that's needed year to year, because it can be easy to have the hype and then things can die down, and we have to see how can we kind of keep the momentum going. Okay, I see some.
We have Ricky, Christopher, and Safia with their
great.
hands
Great. Okay.
raised. Yeah.
Okay, take them in turns. I can't see who's in the queue. Christopher,
Ricky, you were talking, but you are muted. Okay. We cannot hear you. No. No, it's not working, your microphone. I'll give you a few minutes to sort it out, and then I think we can call Safia to speak before. Is that okay?
Okay, I can go now?
Yes, sure.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I feel like the first speaker kind of said everything that I had on my mind, but I wanted to add also that this is a free opportunity to listen to experts talk about all the things that I am about to pay a degree to learn. And so taking advantage of that, and also having the opportunity to network and meet people, pass that up. So yeah, it's definitely the event to be at.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, the educational component, the amount of knowledge sharing that happens, that you very rightly point out, it's knowledge that's accessible in a way that sometimes the concept of formal education and a degree isn't, and it's just as worthwhile sometimes, if not more so, because it's tried, true, and tested and has practical application. And or panelists and the people who come to talk at the Island Innovation Virtual Island Summit, these are people that we've chosen because of the level to which we can relate to them, and also the level of knowledge that is shared. So for that alone, it's a huge, huge resource of knowledge. And that saying, knowledge is power, right? Include yourself in that space where you can gain all the knowledge. Okay, thanks so much for that point, Safia. I know that Christopher was there to mention. Hi, Chris, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Peace and blessings. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining the call from. So basically, I'm attending for 4 main reasons. One, to gain a greater insights into opportunities to invest into the future, and to make a difference with respect to some of these important issues that we face today around not only the climate, but around the SDGs, the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, and of course, the Paris Agreement. So like it says, Island Innovation, there will be presented a number of innovative strategies. And definitely, the more we can actually find opportunities to learn more, to discover more, provides more opportunities to innovate. And the last reason I'm actually attending is to help to identify transformative strategies that are working out there, and opportunities also that, you know, for persons who you could collaborate with, we could work with in deploying some of these transformative strategies in the own area. So if I have to sum it up, attending to learn, to probably share where I can, and also to have fun and to generally make a difference where we can. So those are, you know, the reasons in a nutshell.
Thanks so much. Thanks. I love that balance. Thanks so much for that, Chris. Yes, have fun. Have fun, meet up with people. And also the idea of making a difference and the tangible benefits. Think of ways that, you know, we can not just learn about these things, but how can they be implemented? How can they be deployed, as Chris said? Because one thing is learning and something else is action. And I think we can all see that, you know, to face this future together in a way that's sustainable, we have to put certain things into place. There has to be action behind all of what we're saying, okay? And we definitely feel that whenever we take part in these events like the meetups, we gain that sense of purpose, which is really important. So thanks to those of you who contributed.
We still have Ricky, Stacy. He's the
Oh,
last
Ricky,
one.
I beg your pardon. Yes. Did you sort out the audio issues, Ricky?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Great.
I had to switch to my phone.
Okay.
Because I was having some. Yeah. So I excited as an Island Innovation Ambassador from St. Lucia. We have a wonderful team. I don't know if some of you all saw. We had a debate on the with the Sustainable Development, Department of Sustainable Development, on plastic pollutions, with some of the activities we are having. But the whole issue, I mean, having served as the former executive chairman of the Soufrière Marine Management Authority, the issue of sargassum, the issue, you know, other issues confronting us. So I think the Island Innovation Summit is a great avenue for solutions, for ideas, so that we can find creative ways and innovative ways of trying to address, you know, the many problems that confronting us. Because I mean, sustaining livelihoods and those issues are equally important as well. So the more we get together, and I hope we continue having that as a continuous activity. It's never the thing that is exhausted, you know what I mean? So there's always, so that's my take on it, and that's what excites me about it.
Great, thank you, Ricky. There are 2 points in particular that jumped out at me. I loved everything you said, but the idea of, you know, it's something that it's a process and that it's iterative. It happens again and again. And as it happens, we will gain more and more, and that will solidify our sense of purpose. And then you mentioned livelihoods, and I think that's crucial. The economic, you know, the impact on economies that climate change is having is something that is really starkly apparent to us, and it affects all of us in some way or the other. So the idea of not just saving lives from the ravages of climate change, but saving livelihoods, because one without the other, you know, it's not something that's sustainable or tenable. So I think that was very important. Thanks for raising awareness with that, Ricky. So let me know if you're interested. If you're not already hosting a local event, let me know if you're interested after this. Now you know that it's still possible. I will be reaching out personally, those of you who had filled in the form earlier. I will be reaching out to just check in and see what are your next steps. You might feel you've reached a certain point and you're stuck. So please feel free to reach out and let's see how we can kind of move forward together. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here, you know, as community manager and the ambassador coordinator to help you see how we can, you know, again, be as inclusive as possible and let everyone know what's going on. So just to begin to sum up and wrap up, you can always review the Ambassador Resources page. That's where you're going to find all of the information, you know, for example, the recordings of sessions, communications, the promotional pack. I'll see, Thais, if it would be possible for us to post it there. The resources under the resources section, social media. You do need a password to access it, and the password is there. You can say ambassador_innovation_2022. Okay, so that's the password that's needed. Okay, so I'll stop sharing there. Anybody have any comments? Anything I missed? Anything that we, I'd like to apologize again for the late start, but anyone who is here who would like to say anything else, please feel free to
Omar.
put it in the chat. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi, Omar. How are you?
Hi. Yes, I missed the last few meetups because it's been so busy for me, but I just wanted to say that I'm presently doing a course sponsored by the Inter-American Development Bank on the economics of innovation. And, I think it's very aligned with what we're doing in island innovation. The course is a bit theoretical. And I find island innovation to be really what we are implementing. And so, both assist each other. And also, I am involved with an organization in Jamaica, an environmental organization. And I think a lot of what we're doing in island innovation aligns with that. And I look forward to seeing how I can, contribute more to sustainability and our work. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yes. Okay. Well, please keep in touch. If there's anything we can highlight in terms of what you're doing, the course you mentioned there by the Inter-American Development Bank, was it? You mentioned, I think that's fantastic. And please know there are lots of resources out there. I mean, I would like to, of course, I'm a bit biased. I'll say that Island Innovation is the best one, but there are lots of resources out there that you can use to gain your, increase your knowledge about sustainability. They're easily accessible, usually free. And that's something you can share within this network as well. Okay, so please feel free to do that. I see that, yes, Marjorie will definitely share that. I see that Thais answered that. Thank you so much, Thais. Yes, I'm gonna put, we have to update the resource page with more information on the hubs. Okay, so I know that's important. And I know, Marjorie, I see that you'd asked about some other ambassadors from Antigua and Barbuda. Okay, so I made a note of that. I have the chat saved and I will definitely be reaching out and letting everyone know what's going on. So with that, time always goes quickly when I'm having fun here in the meetups. I really enjoy these meetups and thank you so much to everyone for attending. It was great to see so many of you. And please feel free, as I said, keep in touch. And I'm gonna sign off now and wish everybody a fantastic day or evening, wherever you are. As I said, keep in touch. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.